All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracy is related to Upscale Love for You.
Hello, everyone. This is yours truly, Dr. Fabulous, the founder and CEO of Upscale Love for You. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join us on Tantalizing Talk Thursday, where the conversations are always hot and exciting. So stay tuned and get ready because we are going to have an absolute fabulous good time. And guess what, y'all? Smooches. Mwah.
Hey, it's your girl, Special K. Welcome to Upscale Love for You. A big thank you to each and every one of you for joining into tonight's show. You're guaranteed to have a great time with our hot topic and tantalizing talk.
Welcome each and everyone to the episode of Upscale Love. I'm your boy Action J, where we discuss all the juicy, sizzling, hot topic. I guarantee tonight's show is going to be very, very hot and exciting. So I want you to sit back, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the show.
This is yours truly, Lady T, coming live from the 305. Come join us on Thursday night for Tantalizing Talk at 8:30. It will be hot, hot, hot.
Greetings. This is Dr. Feelgood, the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. Coming to you live from the 571, where we get things done and we're having fun. Welcome to the show. You're going to have a good time because we keep it right and we keep it tight. All I like to say is, never make love by the garden gate. Though love is blind, the neighbors ain't.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Those of you who know, I am the one and only Dr. Fabulous, all the way from the city country of Hinesville, Georgia, originally from the 305. Now, tonight, I'm not trying to sound like Miss Barry White. I'm just a little under the weather, but I say I would not miss the show tonight. So, with that being said, I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking, but I will try to put my input in. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it all the way over to you, Dr. Feelgood.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is Dr. Feelgood, the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. The silver-tongued devil coming from you from every level. From 571, getting things done because I'm having fun. Do your thing tonight. Listen, learn something. We're talking about love and lust. Don't let it be a bust. Come on now and do it to me. So I'm going to pass it off to the lady of the 305, Lady T. Make this crowd come alive.
All right, Dr. Feelgood, you know, just like I like it. This is Lady T coming live from the 305. And like Dr. Feelgood said, this is going to be a hot night tonight. And I can't wait. So let's hop on this ride, Special K.
Okay, thank you, Lady T. Good evening, everyone. This is Special K. I'm here in the beautiful city of Savannah, Georgia. Just welcome to everyone tuning in tonight. And yes, I am ready for tonight's topic. I think this is going to be a real hot one. And next, I have no other than our friend, Action Jackson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a great show tonight, Love and Lust. I'm waiting to hear what you guys got to say about it, how you guys feel about that topic. I'm coming straight from the ATL, so I'm turning over to this brother and keep the ball going.
Distinguished brother. Everyone, this is the distinguished brother coming to you from Snellville, Georgia. My job, as always, is to open your mind, get you to think, and tantalize you just a little bit, just to get your attention. With that, I'm passing it back to Dr. Fabulous.
Well, thank you, everyone. As I stated, I'm glad that each and every one of you are here. And tonight, it is definitely going to be a hot topic because I'm just trying to distinguish all these things about love and lust. And I don't know if we can get that little snippet from what Lady T sent us from the pastor. And his view was so deep. It was like he said, men don't look at women for just the outer. They want some inner. So open up yourself. And when the pastor said that, I was like, ooh la la. Now that pastor, he owned it. He owned it. So if you all can find that snippet and share it, I would love. And people, I'm sucking a lozenge because I'm trying to keep this old throat open enough so you can understand what I'm saying. But tonight, our opening question is, have you ever wondered why some people cheat in relationships? And do you think that it is driven more by a quest for love or lust? And it states that in certain situations, not all, but certain situations, because whether it's a man or a woman, sometimes they have these relationships where they're very stressful. And so instead of just leaving the relationship, guess what? They just get an additional side piece, and then they just keep it going. They keep that on the down low, but yet and still, they're still in this relationship. And prior to us talking this evening or getting started, Lady T told us something that back in the day, that the side piece woman knew her place and she wasn't supposed to say anything. And then distinguished brother said, now in this day and age, the side piece don't know her place because she really thinks she's the wife. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna turn it on over to Lady T to have that direct dialogue with distinguished brother. Go right ahead, Lady T.
Hi, everyone. Like I said, married but single. So when you are the side piece or when you lust after whomever, then you are just that, the side piece. When you know your place as the side piece, then I think things flow a little bit better. Do I condone it? No, but sometimes nowadays you have to do what you have to do. So let's look at this little clip, and then I would love to see your feedback. Dr. Feelgood? We can't hear it. Turn the volume on. Click the little sound button.
It's to the bottom. You're gonna have to start it over now.
Oh, technical difficulty. Can you swipe it up or down to start it over?
It's
Way it's set
going
up,
now.
it's on my desktop. So I'm just trying to change the sound so y'all can hear it and go through the same time. So I'm gonna let it run through and then come back to it. Give me a second.
See if I can find it.
Well, while they're trying to get it together, ooh, Dr. Feelgood.
Oh my
Anywho,
goodness. You
oh,
need to be
did y'all
careful
see
with your
Dr.
pain.
Feelgood got that boot up?
We
All of that.
already know he a freak. That's all right.
Ooh, we're not gonna call Dr. Feelgood a freak. Dr. Feelgood
Ain't nothing
is
wrong with that.
He is Dr. Feelgood. But anyway, everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. I see some new faces for the very first time. I don't want that Lady T to run you off. I wanted to reel you in and keep you here. But tonight, as I stated, I can't do much talking. So I'm going to let Lady T, Special K, and all the others just have their way. So get back, I had to say, sit back, relax, enjoy, and they are going to take you for a ride this evening that I know you will definitely enjoy and definitely won't forget. So, Lady T, while Dr. Feelgood is trying to get it together, as I stated, you and distinguished brother can go ahead with your dialogue.
So, as I was saying, so what do you think and how do you feel about the side piece knowing their place?
Okay. In this situation or in any situation, if you are the side piece, you've got to know your place because that can either enhance the relationship or in a lot of cases, when you don't know your place, it can destroy the relationship. And this is what I mean by that. If you are a side piece, you need to understand that your place is on the side. You don't get holidays. You don't get birthdays. You don't get calls after a certain time. You can't make calls after a certain time. When I say that I can see you, I can see you. When I say I can't, that's it. I can't. I don't need you showing up at work, home, or anywhere else. I don't need you calling me after a certain time and expecting conversation. I don't need, if your water's broken, your toilet's backed up, your dog out the house. Don't call me. That is not my place or yours. And you have
Okay.
to understand that situation. But the other side to that is the reason that a lot of people, I think, get into it is several reasons. One, it could be love. You're not getting it. You're not getting it anymore. Whatever happened, happened. Things have gone their separate ways, such as the Smiths' major revelation about them being separated since 2016. No one knew. Maybe nobody outside your house knows but you, and you realize you're not getting what you need, so you're finding it somewhere else. It's not that you want to leave, but you got to get yourself satisfied. Well, it could be lust. It could be just the simple fact that you're tired of what's at home. You're tired of the same hot dog and hamburger every night. You want a steak. You want some lamb chops. You want something totally different. So you went out and you found that. But you also have to understand that there are problems and consequences that come with everything.
So, with that being said, do you think when you're that firm with your side piece, do you think it's lust? Or do you think, okay, I love you so much, I will do whatever you say?
Yeah, you can. That's a hard one to define because it could actually be that you do have feelings for that side piece, but again, side piece. Because if you're married, you know that you are in a precarious situation. That side piece can go on about their business. They can cause all kind of problems and not have any issues. But the married person has a lot more invested as well as a lot more to lose. So it could be a combination of love and or lust. I would say on the most part, it's a lust situation though. You're looking for
Oh,
something you're not getting at home.
okay. All right, Dr. Fab, you're on mute.
Okay, no, I was saying first, let me say welcome, welcome to all the new faces, and welcome back, Heather. I am so glad to see Heather back in the house, y'all. But this is what I was getting ready to say. Now, you made a comment and said that the Smiths were separated since 2016. Is that actual facts or is this just hearsay? Are they still in
This
the
is
same?
fact.
It's fact. Okay. So, with that being said, so all the issues that stemmed from that Chris Rock thing, all of that, do you think that was a show for the world? Or was that him saying to his wife, even though they were separated, that he was still in her corner? I'm a little lost for words when it comes to this thing about you can be married and still be single. I'm not how can I say, I guess in that era quite to say because I never experienced that, but I do get the lingo of it. And my question that I always have in the back of my mind is if a person is married and they choose to have a side piece, comma is also that person to come back and bite you in the butt. So what you do to your mate, you don't think that down the road you could be ever so in love and you have broke it off with your side piece, then it comes back and you find out that the person you're in love with is now doing the same thing that you were doing. How would you all feel? I just want to see in our chat if you would put in how you would feel. You can type it in or you can raise your hand and tell me. But I'm trying to find out because when you do things to people, 9 out of 10, it's going to come back to you. So I see my cousin, he's eating, so I'm not going to call on him. I'm going to let him finish chewing because I don't want him to get choked. But I'm going to ask Miss Heather. Miss Heather, can you hear me? I know you out and about, but can you hear me, Miss Heather?
I can hear you. Hi, guys.
Welcome back, Heather. Good to see you, hear you, and all that good stuff.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so our
So what's the
question tonight is it love or is it lust? And then when people have these side pieces, let me give you the direct question so you'll know exactly what you're answering. And, we're going to try to stay on track tonight because, we can deter. The opening question is, have you ever wondered why some people cheat in relationships? And do you think it's driven more by a quest for love or for lust?
Oh, that is a heavy question. Because sometimes you don't ever really know with the other person. You don't know what the motivating factors are. Sometimes you do. Um, I guess based on experience, lack of communication about feelings, about anything and everything. It could be something's lacking and you're not communicating. So it just seems like the foundation part is communication, or it's just action. You're not paying attention to different things the person is showing you. I don't think it warrants someone to cheat on you, or you to cheat on someone. But there's a core to this that is not being communicated. And if you don't communicate, you can't respond to things so that you and your mate can be on the same page and not have to choose situationships and pieces of body parts from other people. Like I don't understand. So I don't have a real answer to that, other than
Okay.
communication is a real big thing for me, at least, to figuring out what the deal is, what's the issue, what's the problem, or what's wrong.
So
Okay.
Heather, let me ask you this. So do you think maybe it's really not an issue? Do you think it's because maybe that person have like grown apart, with their partner?
I think that is definitely a possibility, but again, are they communicating, about what, how they're moving apart, or people change. They change in situations and relationships as well, sometimes for the better and sometimes not. And that other person can't, or they have a challenge communicating how they feel about some of these changes they're seeing in their partner.
So do you think that when they say, oh, I love you so much that I can let you go, do you think that's a true statement? Or do you think it's like, you know what, I'm just lusting after someone. It's just time for them to go. We don't grown apart and it's time to just move on.
I think it's communication. Because even if you're feeling some way about someone else and you just want to get your rocks off, or your partner's not satisfying you the way that they used to, or the way that you loved, or that is kind of the fire is kind of gone, you still got to communicate something. Because if you're with somebody for an extended period of time, there's always things you can try and work on, and that is communication. You got to talk about something to figure out how you could either spice it up so that someone doesn't have to go and look elsewhere. Because sometimes if they're doing it, they want to go somewhere else. So
That's a good point, Heather, when you say you got to keep it spice, get that little spice going, because I don't care if you're married to a person for 30 years, you got to turn a trick here or there to keep that spice of life. And and as we get older, I know some of you all are young because we got some young bucks on here also. But when you hit that old age of 45 and higher, you still got to learn how to Ooh, put it down. We're gonna leave that to Dr. Feelgood. I'm not gonna.
Well, wait a minute. I just turned 45 and it's still
That's right.
spicy over here.
That's
I
Hey
right.
know,
now.
Keep it.
Dr. Fat.
You got to
You
keep
said
it
that old
spicy.
age of 45. I was like, wait a minute now.
No,
Ain't
no,
nothing
no.
old about 45 because I'm
Girl, I
47.
try to tell you.
Okay, but listen. Not saying old. I said you have to keep it spice. Now, I don't care if you're 60, 70, 80, because I said, and I say it to anyone, I plan to keep it hot and spicy to 105. So I'm going to do the doggone thing. I don't know, every Thursday night, somebody, they just, I'm like, they know I got the podcast. But nevertheless, we're moving on. So the question I have also this evening, can you distinguish or tell if it's really love or if you're lusting? How many men, I'm taking this to the men, if you meet a young lady and you really think, or I'm going to say you're infatuated at the time because it's kind of young, it's kind of fresh, do you know or can you tell the difference whether you're in love or if you're just truly lusting? I'm going to start that out with Dr. Feelgood.
Look at you. You just want to drag me into this mess. You know, here it is. Love is not only a feeling, it's an action. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is apathy, because you go from I feel something, hate's a feeling, love's a feeling. They're both actions. But if you inaction is the opposite of action, so apathy is the opposite of love. Lust is an overwhelming feeling that causes you to temporarily lose your mind and do what you need to do. We can have a lust for a lot of stuff. Some people lust after sex. Some people lust after food. Some people lust after gambling. It's a thing that if it's not carefully disciplined and controlled, you can easily ruin your life or ruin people's lives because you're always after something. And I'm gonna go biblical on you.
Go on and go preach the word. He went to preaching and God knew best. We can't even hear
No,
you,
no, no.
Dr.
I
Phil.
got you. I got you. It says, you know, in the Bible, in the Bible, it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." You know, the OJ said money is the root of all evil, but it's actually the love of money. The word love that they used was eros. It was a sexual kind of love, and when you have that type of love towards money, you're going to do anything to get it. If you lust after one, if you can't get your mind wrapped around that a person is maybe out of your reach, out of your league, out of your time, out of your whatever, that's lust. It's most likely destructive. Love is more constructive because you put a lot of times we talked about love types of love before, philos, eros, and agape, and we got to look at it from the eros, philos. Philos, you want to be somebody's friend. You can love somebody friendly, love somebody, love them romantic or sexually, and you can love them with nothing, expect nothing in return. We mainly do that for our children. But as far as love, love is kind. Love is gentle. Love invokes emotions. Lust is a feeling. It's something that overwhelms you if you don't control it. That's why we wonder why we're a little fat, we're a little lazy. We like that. We like it. We like sex a bit too much with too many different people, and we do these things as a man. Show me a man with no pickle discipline, and I'll show you a loser. Because being a man means being disciplined. You know, the root word of disciple is discipline, meaning to keep, to hold. So you have to hold your lust back and then work forward. Because if you don't have a purpose, you don't have a way to go. If you're just aimless, you're gonna be Pookie or Ray Ray, making babies, going to jail, selling a couple of drugs here and there, and you're gonna not do yourself or the people you claim to love right. So that's, in
Well,
my
that
opinion,
means,
that's the difference.
okay, so I'm play the devil's advocate. If you're lusting after something and it's so good to you till you start to love it. So is it a
No,
trend?
no,
You don't think it
no,
can transpire into
no,
love from
no,
love?
because lust is transactional. You start with it, and then after a while you get tired of it and you move on. Too much of a good
I
thing
don't know.
does. Oh no, trust me. You can. There's a difference between lust and desire. It means the same, but it has different. It's different semantically. Desire. I can desire somebody and love them, but if I'm lusting after somebody, after I get it, I might be like, oh, I don't even like you, and
Well,
that's where the difference between them.
I hear that, but you can say, "Ooh, I don't even like you." But the experience that you had was so wonderful in the back of your subconscious mind. You say, "I need to try it just one more time,
And
just
that's
one more
addiction.
time."
That's the lack of
That's
discipline.
the lust addiction.
Yes, because if you got to keep going, if you're doing it to your detriment, is that healthy?
I don't know. I ain't never tried it
So,
like that.
so that's
That's
but
lust. That's
that's
lust.
lust. That's lust. When you have discipline, you understand the difference between lust and love. Because I lusted after a lot of women growing up. Shoot, I had Whitney Houston was my first and ex-wife. That was pre-Bobby.
Okay.
Um, of course, a guy
And
my
Helen.
age said Janet Jackson. Love
Mhm.
Janet
Who
Jackson when
ain't
she was
lusted after Janet Jackson?
hey different
Take
strokes.
a number.
Oh yeah, Charlene, we loved her to death. But
Mm.
I understood that I probably didn't have a chance. Well, maybe in the early 2000s when she dated Jermaine Dupri, because that was like the brothers was like, what the hell? But anyhow, a man doesn't have discipline will try to go after everything, whether it's good, bad, or whatever, because they're trying to get that feeling. They're chasing that feeling. That's why I say it's addictive. Go on, Anson.
Um, Sorry, y'all. I had to reset my computer. But I hear what you're saying about love and lust being two different things, but I feel like they're one and the same. I feel like they are intertwined. They're you can love something, but you can also lust can turn into love.
See, cousin, we on the same page tonight. Cause I was thinking and I was like, you know, if you that's just like I did not like butter pecan ice cream. And then I tried it and the buttery taste started to get just make my tongue salivate. I said, let me just get one more teaspoon of this butter pecan ice cream. And I really started to like it. So that's the reason why I'm saying you saying lust can't turn into love because you
No,
can
it
start.
can't. And
But
I'm
and
no,
telling
listen,
no,
listen,
no,
listen.
It
no.
can, it can.
I'm not saying that it can turn into love, but you can just love to lust. And
okay, okay.
I feel like it's one and the same. I
It's
feel
a
like
trend.
if you love someone, you can love to lust over them.
After that person.
Right.
Okay.
You just have to differentiate between that person and anyone else.
Mm,
Yes.
okay.
No, no, I mean, I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. I'm just saying that in the context that we're using it, it's similar but not exactly the same.
Mm.
Because yes, you can lust something and then wind up maybe down the road. If you learn to discipline yourself, you learn to love it. That's that. But what I'm saying is kind of a different thing. I'm looking at because men are more diametric. Either you do or you don't. there's really no in between with most men. I'm not saying every man, but if you like something, you're gonna say, okay, I like it. If you lusting after it, you're like, damn, I gotta have this. I gotta smoke this weed all the time. I don't feel right if I don't smoke weed. And then that becomes a part of your habit. Do you really love it? Because if you love it, you want to quit it because you know it's bad for you. A not disrespecting my weed heads, but I'm just saying, um, diabetics have craving for what? Sweet stuff.
Sugar.
Right.
Not necessarily true.
So I'm
Speaking
just
as a
saying.
diabetic.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I've been on up or down the road. No, I can have a little sugar, but sometimes that doesn't satisfy my craving. So then I want more. But I understand that if I don't get it or I go overindulge in it, I wind up in the hospital. And that's what I mean. That's where discipline comes in, especially as a man. You have to be disciplined. Anson, you are a walking testament of discipline. Because when you got in your accident, you couldn't probably do anything. You couldn't even wipe your behind, could you?
Yes, sir. I'm struggling with recovering right now. It's a long road.
But the thing is, though, is that you're not quitting. You're showing the discipline because you're on a purpose. When men don't have a person, they go into they have issues with dealing with control and lust. Because we're the men, we're supposed to be the ones that are disciplined, if not stoic. We don't operate in the emotional. And
Okay,
that's the difference.
I got that. Heather, your hand is up. Go ahead, Heather.
So I definitely agree with Dr. Feelgood about this discipline thing. Um, from his perspective as a man, because I've always kind of observed how men operate when it comes to lust and love, and I often struggle with not only men but women's definition of love as a noun and as a verb, and based on their experiences, and then based on my experiences with men and trying to understand this love lust thing, it gets really frustrating when they themselves can't define what love is, when they've been hurt, when they've gone through all kinds of traumatic situations, and you're coming into a situation where number one, you're trying to learn them, and you see some things in them, and you're beginning to show emotions because you're connecting with them. They may not be connected with you. It might be just lust for them or just a general attraction. But then, like Dr. Fabulous was saying, like, I mean, on my end, it's not even lust. It's more of like, I'm trying to connect with you on a human level. So if I start to see things that connect with me and my personality, and I'm seeing parts of you that you may not have shown to anybody else, I'm developing these emotions that are love like. And when I see some men move about, and it's about, and I've said this in many conversations in the past, this phrase about these bad bitches, right? Which really frustrate me, is the lust that they have for these outward appearances, what these chicks look like. Some of them may be doing well for themselves. And sometimes these men are looking at them like she's a package until they connect with them and they realize that this chick is just materialistic, all about show, all about attracting people, because that's what some people want, men and women. They just want the attraction, people wanting them, and not connecting on a level of like, who are you really? And it's a struggle for a lot of people out here like myself who's single to really connect with people. They don't want you to ask questions. They don't want you to get to know them. But then how do we get past the lust phase to be able to love one another? Like, are we just going to keep moving about the world where everybody's just having sex with each other to see who's the best fit and who's the best connection sexually? And then from there, we'll see about love. It feels like that's what it is, even at 45 years old. Like, I'm struggling with this. Like,
it gets to the point where when you have the discipline to say, I see what's going on out there, and me as a woman, and I know that I'm hopeful for love, and I'm disciplined to be able to be in a situation where I can give that person grace and I can give them time to figure out who they want to be in our situation. But then it gets to a point where a lot of us women are looking out here, there's not a lot to choose from. So it's like, do I hold on to dude for X amount of time? Or do I just live my single life and continue to make myself happy? This whole debate about love and lust, I just wish men and women will get it together and just be honest about their feelings about people so they're not wasting time, they're not wasting their body count, because now you're putting people in danger with all kinds of things going on out here. And then everybody is hurt and broken. That's all I
You got a good point, Heather. You got a great point. Anson, you got your hand up. And after Anson, we're going to slide it over to Special K because she got a little something to say, y'all. Okay, go ahead, Anson.
Yeah, but going off what Heather just said, I think too many times, too many people confuse love and lust. I said earlier that I feel like they're one and the same, but I also feel like a lot of people just love to lust. And I think the confusion comes where people don't acknowledge that. People always want to try to separate it. Oh, you don't love me, you lust me, and want to play victim in the scenario. But no, you have to understand that people do what they want to do because they want to do it. They like to do it. So if you're lusting over something, and you might have to admit that you love to lust. I can admit I love to lust. Lusting is fun to me. That's a good activity. I like to do it. But I also realize that if I want to be in a relationship, that I need to lust with who I'm with.
Yes.
But it takes a while for a lot of men to come to that conclusion because in our society, it's you get chased, we do the hunting. You know what I mean? We chase after y'all. So y'all are not thirsty for any of that because you always got men coming after you. Men, on the other hand, no matter how attractive we are, we always have to make that first move.
Did you say we are?
Yes.
Like you attractive? You ain't, I'm just teasing with you.
Yes, I am. I love my beard. I take good care of it.
Okay. That's my cousin, y'all. They're running the family.
But I love to lust. I know this about myself. I realized that a long time. But as a man, you can't come to that reality until you had some experience. So if you just, you in your 30s and you just not getting you some nookie, you might lose your mind. And you might
Did
just
you say at 30, having the first time having an intimate moment? Yeah,
correct.
that might be something.
Right.
That
And that's
definitely
when
might be something.
that's when the lusting might be emphasized. But if you love to lust, you don't know that unless you've done it enough.
I don't think there's an age range on that, my friend Anson. I feel like men in their 40s, 50s, 60s still out there like P. Diddy running the city, like and have a nice little list. When this chick is acting up or this one got a period, I'm calling the next one. Like, I've been around so many men. I've played basketball most of my life, and I've listened to all of these conversations. And men don't disappoint me with some of the stuff that they do. And the sad part is they think that women don't even know. Like, we put up with the BS because sometimes we feel like we don't have a lot of options and we outnumber men. But for real, these men, they have it because we also allow it. Women do allow it. We don't just pick up and go and say, I'm not dealing with this. We stick around because we're like, the options are limited. But at this point, you're finding women that are saying, you know what? I'd rather be alone. I'd rather not deal with any of that. And it's getting to the point where some women are losing hope and trying to develop relationships, especially Black women with Black men.
Oh, Heather, I'm so glad you're on here tonight because I've been wanting to say certain things. And one thing that had deterred me from coming on here for a long time is the whole narrative that you're saying right now. It is not a man versus woman thing. Women, you are not victims. You are not the ones that do not lust as well. I know plenty of women that lust just as bad as you are saying that men do. So it's
Well,
not.
I'm not saying every. It's not a general statement. It's just a Heather
not,
statement. I'm speaking for Heather right now.
It's not a one-sided thing. So lust goes both ways. Everyone does it. Everyone falls victim to it. They just go about it different ways. Like I said earlier, and like DFG said, is that you have to have discipline. Therefore, you have to know yourself. So if you love to lust, be honest with yourself first and foremost. And like I said earlier, a lot of problem is that a lot of men don't realize that they love to lust. And if they love to lust, you need to learn how to do it properly. So be responsible with your private parts.
Okay.
Yeah, that is an okay with a question mark.
All right. Well, Special K, and I see Dr. Feelgood got up the little the preacher. Is it able to work now? Or are we gonna let Dr. K go? Dr. K,
I'll take it.
Special K, go ahead on and get it done.
Okay, thank you. Heather, you have.
Okay, let me try. Let me get this before. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try it.
A man does not want sex, a man needs sex. Yeah, right. And there's a difference. For 1 milliliter of sperm is between 50 and 200 million sperm cells in 1 milliliter. The potential between 50 million and 200 million people swimming around in 1 milliliter. Come on. And God has created a man to dispel that. Furthermore, it's the woman who will take a hiatus off every month from sex, not the man. A man can stay home from the time he entered to the time he died. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you put a worm in the water, if you put a hook in the water, you don't put no worm on it, you don't get no fish. And if you don't got to put on y'all breasts, booties, thighs, lips, that's the worm on the hook. We see when you see you. Ain't no man in history ever saw a woman across the room and said, oh my God, her heart is sparkling. Every man is attracted to a woman sexually. Uh-oh. It's your job to show him that it's more to you than what's on the hook. It's your job to show him that you got something between your ears. It's your job to show him that you're not as easy like everybody. Y'all want that to do the work for me. I just want a man to see me from my inside when you're going to be waiting for the rest of your food life. Because ain't no man going to see you for your inside till you show him the inside. We got to attract to a woman for what we see. Period, point blank. Get over it. Y'all come out sleeping, pasties on here and all this stuff, and then I want about to lick you, I want about to sexually objectify you. Why? What you thought we were going to do? What you put it on for if you didn't want to be objectified by? If you don't want to be identified by your breast and your tail and all that stuff, what are you advertising? And then you live when we go to the ball on the back. A man's not necessarily sensitive to your feelings anyway. So he want what he can get from you anyway. So you'll go do it. Now it's all about liberation and about freedom of expression. What are you expressing? Exactly. Come on, I'm tired of y'all lying to yourself. I guess for me, you dress like that, you lie. If you dress like that, you do that, I mean, you go to sleep like that.
Okay. It's getting a little robotic.
Am I right about it?
So I believe what the pastor was trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, that men, we automatically know that you all are visual creatures. We know that. And I guess what he was saying as well, that sometimes some women wear things that's extremely revealing and then put on this act as if, why are they looking at me like that? So if you look like an appetizer or whatever, somebody might want to bite. So go ahead, Special K.
Okay. Oh. Okay, thank you. So, Heather, you made some good points. I agree with you 100%. It's rough out here for single women like myself and you. But as far as the love versus lust go, so I wanted to just delve into like the distinction between the love and lust. So do we think, or anyone thinks, whether cheating is often driven by a longing for a genuine love and emotional connection outside of your current relationship or primary relationship? Or do you feel like cheating within a relationship is primarily a result of physical attraction and or sexual desire for the other person? My opinion, I feel like it can be both. I feel like people can fall out of love with each other, and that can drive, people to step outside of the relationship for that love and that emotional connection. But then that's where the communication aspect comes in, because I do also believe that before you get to that point, there needs to be communication. If we're no longer in love with each other, we need to know that, we need to talk about it and take the proper steps, before going outside of the relationship. But then I also feel that cheating can also strictly just be a straight lustful physical attraction to someone else. So and it's not, like Answer said, is in this aspect is not only men. Women want to taste too sometimes of something different. And I think depending on the person and situation, that's where it can cut. It could strictly just be out of a lustful desire for something else, something new, things to that nature. So that's what I would like to ask, or if anybody want to jump in on the panel. Do you think that cheating is driven by a longing for genuine love and emotional connection outside of the primary relationship, or is it primarily a result of physical attraction and sexual desire? Anyone would like to jump in?
I'm gonna say the second.
Heather had her hand up.
Heather, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Go ahead, Heather.
I didn't want to monopolize. I agree with you, Special K. I think it's about both. Or it could be. But I think some people, men and women, because as Anson said earlier, it's not just a gender thing. But I really feel as though folks need to just be real with who they are. Like, if you're exploring situations with people, and sometimes you don't know right off, like, if I want to be in a relationship or not, you have to take time to get to know the person. But if your motivation is really coming from a place of like attraction through your eyes and what the person looks like, because you haven't taken the time to get to know them, because you can have sex with anybody and find out later on that this person is dumb, they don't have anything going for themselves, they don't have a job, because of that that attraction, that outward attraction. So I mean, these days you would imagine people, as they get older, they may be looking for something a little bit more foundational. But I mean, if sex is there and people are willing, I can't see why men or women would not do it. But then you get to a point in life where you're just like, well, am I looking for a partner, or I'm looking for sex? And there's no shade to anybody that's looking for either. But at some point, you just have to be honest with yourself. Don't push on a situation with someone as if you want to explore a relationship, when really you just want to have sex with them, or you got bored with them and you want to move on to the next. Because at that point, if you're in a relationship with someone for a short amount of time, a long period of time, and you realize, okay, they're not giving it to me that I want, the way I want it, and I'm looking at this other thing over here and I want to see what that's about, then you're putting yourself in a predicament where it's people start feeling like their time was wasted when they find out that you want to move on, and you're doing it in a way where you're not communicating you want to move on, and then they got to find out other ways, and you're in a full-fledged relationship. That, I mean, especially for older folks, that's corny. Like, grow up, communicate what you're feeling, or find a way to do it in a way you're not hurting the person, and so that they can move on. It's not even for the person, it's for the other person, for them not to sitting there thinking like there's something that's coming from this when you're lusting after another person or multiple people. Like, this happens every day, B. They said that in Paid in Full. This happens every day, and people still not honest.
Absolutely. And that's why I said the communication, is so important, because I'm definitely not co-signing hurting anybody. If you want to step outside of the relationship, it has to be communication. Anything you do in the dark is gonna come to light. It'll get revealed eventually. And
then people start
Leanne,
acting crazy.
right, exactly. All kind of stuff can come out of that. Leanne, did you have your hand up? Did you want to jump in?
I said I agree with your second suggestion.
Oh, okay.
I agree with the second one. Lust and love is not the same.
Right. Okay,
Do you really know? Do you really wait a minute? Here's the question. Do you really know what love is? I want to know what love is. Do you really know what love is?
It varies from person to person.
It does.
I agree, Anton.
That's true. I do. But that's why I'm asking the question. Do you really know what love is? Let me tell you about young people, not people seasoned like me. We really know what love is. When you're older, you really know what love is.
How do you know this?
Because I'm up there. I'm up there on the charts. I'm probably older than everybody on this podcast, this Upscale.
So how do you know someone your age feels the same way you do?
Oh, I talk to people
life experiences. You can say the young people don't know what love is.
I talk to people my age. That's why I'm asking the question.
But can I just ask?
Yes.
Leanne, what's your year?
What year was I born?
Uh-huh.
I'm older than you, Dr. Fab.
Are you really?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll be 62 in November.
Well, all righty then,
Been
baby.
over to the front and touch your toes. I took the jag and I left the room. Go ahead.
All right, go on now.
Anyway. Love and lust is not the same. When you're young, you really trying to figure it out. When you're older, you already figured it out.
No, I disagree with that.
Okay, but I agree with you in the beginning. What was your statement in the beginning when everybody spoke about lust and love? What did you say? Because I agreed with you. I said I agreed with the distinguished gentleman. What was your comment in the very beginning?
That, love and lust are two separate things and you can have them both. But what I disagree with is the fact that the older you get, you know what the definition of love is. Because I haven't.
Yes, because you know what you're looking for.
But again, I disagree because I've encountered some older people in my age bracket and older age brackets who are still either trying to figure it out or they still player from the Himalayas and they have no idea what real love is.
But
I've also encountered some young people who
seriously know what love is.
Love each other.
Now, Leanne, I can say, I don't know, maybe this question, what you just threw out there, can go person by person, but I can agree with you on that, listen to that, because I'm going to tell you, my experiences made me, as I got older, the wiser I got and through experience that I had from young up to now, made me know and learn how to love and how to love properly and the whole dynamic with that. So in that aspect, I actually do agree with you on that. My love now that I put out for someone or I show someone and things I've learned on what I'm supposed to do as a woman, I didn't have all of that back then. And again, this is only me. So 20 years ago in my 20s, you know what I'm saying? It is a difference for me now.
And you go through the motion and you learn.
I went right. So now I know what to do, what not to do. I've learned from past things. I learned within myself, like what makes me better. What do I need to do to be better? And I always say to myself, and it's not a bad thing to be married young, but in all honesty, I'm glad I did not marry young because I really feel like I would have been a divorcee. I mean, that's just real because I've learned that. So now when I go into something with somebody or God willing, I get married, I know what to do on my part. I didn't know these things 20 years ago.
Now, lust can turn into love. I can tell you that. Lust can turn into love.
They said earlier that lust could never turn into love, because I was thinking the same thing. If I'm
lust
really
can turn into love.
infatuated by something and it's that good to me, I'm going to
love it. If it's that good to you, you're going to love it.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. But who, you know.
I disagree with that. I don't think so. If I'm lusting after you, it's probably more than likely for me, it's probably just like a physical type of thing or something like that. It's not all like getting to know who you are and things like that.
No.
I don't know.
In that journey, Special K, you can meet a person for the very first time, and then you go out, okay, and you're like, oh, I kind of like him. And then something happens.
Y'all have sex.
A spark happens, and you say, oh, he know how to lay the plane. I'm going to stick around just a little while longer. And then he comes on back and he shows you another trick, and you're like, God dang.
And then he comes on his knees and asks you to marry him.
I think I'm going to stay just a little while longer. So in the meantime, in between time, you're getting to know this individual, because I guarantee you, the more time that you spend with someone, that's a definite that you start to know them. You start to know their ways, all of that. Because I'm telling you, at my age, I'm full grown. I got all the, how they say, sweetness from behind my ears. But I'm just saying, I know when I'm with someone and it's a long period of time and we're going out and we're doing things, that person starts to grow on you. It didn't happen from day one, but as day 30 come, day 40, you start to say, you know what, let me just see. And it's not that I'm staying because I got to, I don't have a choice. I choose to stay because I'm trying to see, okay, where is this going to end up? What is going to happen here? You know? So I do believe that it might start out at lust, and then the longer the time that you spend with someone, they start to grow on you, and then it transitions, like I say, into love. But nevertheless, who am I?
I get you. I just feel for maybe my definition of lusting is just different, because if I'm lusting at someone, it's probably not someone that I'm trying to really spend time with. You know what I mean? Like that. So that's where my point of view was coming from. And it's probably not a person that I'm going to be spending a whole ample amount of time with to fall into that. But what you're saying to me, I believe that you can fall in love with a person, meaning that someone you can, might step to you and he ain't really your type or this, that, and the other. But the more you be around him and the more y'all go out and date, you can really take a liking and fall in love with that person. But for me, and that's just me, my definition of lusting honestly would probably be more on like a sexual attraction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you like that, hit it and quit it. Got you. I got
not
you.
so much hit it and quit it, but it just might be that, that's what they used to say, you had your little booth in, you had your little what the hell they call it down here in the South, your cut buddy,
sneaky link,
sneaky link, your cut buddy, it might be somebody you see. Yeah, you may not just be a one time, and now you might see him 3 times out the month. I don't know, but to me, that's what I'm saying. Version of lusting, though. It's not like
okay, but Special
K, can I say something?
I'm sorry, but what you just said, Special K, is if this is your, I'm not even going to say a friend, but your person with benefits, and you know what I'm talking about, when you need your tires rotated, that oil change and everything, and you always use the same person, he gonna give you that discount on your tires and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I guess
you tend to continue to go back to that individual for Southern comfort. And so that Southern comfort gets so good, you say, oh, he might give me a free set of tires this time. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I say, I believe that what you start out with as lust, as you over the period of time, that lust can transcend into something more if it's a longer, how can I say, more than a 6-month entity.
That's possible because you could fall in love. You know, love is a feeling that sometimes you just can't control. You just don't know. I guess that is a true statement. You could possibly fall in love.
Okay, okay. I done pulled you in. Okay, now. Special K, Dr. Feel Good, DFG got his hand up.
Go ahead, Dr. Feelgood.
In the box, I put in what I pulled from Google, love and lust and relationship. And if you look at the pictures, it's a little different. What they have for it's in the picture, but I'm gonna show it in a second. Let me share this. These are, as you see on the screen, you can see the difference between lust and love, according to one of the sites that I looked at. Mainly, it's talking about single-mindedness with lust and more flared for love, and that's why I have I'm not going to say it doesn't happen that you can fall in love out of lust, but the chances are they'll diverge at a time, because if you don't, Special K was saying, if you don't know somebody and you only know them in the bed, then is that love? Or is that
But
just
then
you
I would
like them?
hope that you know them before you go on and direct yourself to the bed and continue to stay in the bed, you know.
To feel good. This is a new era, baby. Sometimes you just want to go to bed. That's it.
No, and I understand that, but as long as both parties know what it is, because you know what happens, they catch that sexually transmitted disease called feelings, and then that gets everybody
hot and bothered.
Yes.
Yeah, but Dr. Feel Good, it's not always the woman that catch feelings now.
I didn't say that.
Most times women.
I did not say that.
It's some men that be trying to knock your dough down and you have to get a restraining order.
I didn't say that. I never said it was just women who did that. That's why I said the sexually transmission disease called feelings. Some of us catch it. If we bumping uglies on a regular basis, one of us might catch feelings. It might be me, it might be you, but
I don't think it's feelings in that way. I think it's feelings like it's so good. I just, I like the way you make me feel in the emotion of the movie.
Yes, and then what happens after that? And this is kind of where I'm going. Yeah, you might say that. I like how they make me feel, and then they're like, nobody else better be getting this, even though y'all got an agreement that it's just going to be semi-casual. But then somebody catches feeling like, nah, you can't. That thing is too good for me.
That's right. You can't renege on the contract. If you go into that relationship saying this is, what it is, hit it and quit it, then that's what it has to be. I mean, you can't renege. I don't care how good it is.
Yeah, I understand that, but that was my point with the difference between love and lust. Dr.
Feelgood, can that be the lust turn to love that you want to lock it down?
Yep. Yes,
that's what I said, and I have it. Lust can turn into love. Yes, it can.
And that's that, right? But usually, I'm saying no, it can happen. I didn't say it couldn't happen. I said, but the probability that it's only unidirectional is big. And like I said, you catch that disease called feelings and be like, yo,
feelings is not a disease. Don't name it that. We got call it something else. You catch that.
Y'all can't take us so literally. Why are y'all so literal here?
You catch that hook. You get hooked.
The same thing.
Yeah, you get hooked. And when it's hooked, you're addicted to what the thing did. So, but song Most Def came out with about 25 years ago called Miss Fat Booty. And it trust me, the lyrics go, 3 months later, I will desperately need her. 6 months ago, I have catching a fever. 9 months time flew around. he said, I gotta lock it down. He said, one night we burn things and go at it. Told her I was in love, and she said, yeah, I can't have that. She woke up in the at the night and said, and disappeared like she was magic. So it was like, yeah, he caught feelings, but she was like, nah, I don't do that. And then he saw her in the club with an Asian chick playing lay him down and lick me up.
Oh,
Wow.
now that was a
Like,
trickle, wasn't it?
lay me down, lick me up. I'm with it.
But that's but that's what I'm saying though. So yes, it can happen, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be reciprocated, and that's where the issue is. Now, if y'all both say love y'all together, then yeah. But usually it's one person like, I'm getting what I want. So why would I want to ruin this? And the other person like, ooh, this is the best I had. Let me lock this person down. They gotta be mine. And that's not saying this in every case. I'm not gonna say that, but that is the usual outcome. One person likes and loves the other person more than the other. And the other person just looking at it as an appointment, whether it's a eggplant or peach appointment.
Wow.
Well, dang.
Go ahead,
Heather got her
Heather.
hand up.
I think it's awesome that we talk about love and lust in theory. I'm interested in learning about how are people managing love and lust in their own situations or relationships, because I feel like it would be more helpful for me. I'm only speaking for Heather to find out, like, at different stages that we all are in this room, how are we managing relationships in terms of love and lust, and what are we doing when we get to that point of lust and we decide, wow, I think I might want to be in a relationship. I like this person and I want to see it go further, but it's a weird vibe because, we're just, bumping uglies, and we like
That's a Leanne move, Heather. That's a Leanne move right there.
Hey, girl.
I'm a lust first. And if I fall into it and you doing right and you all of that and a bag of chips, then I might love you for it. But in the beginning, I ain't trying to love. I'm lusting.
This is what I'm trying to get to. We can talk about all this stuff in theory, but how are we really getting down? Are people right now looking for relationships, or they're enjoying meeting people and having that time to enjoy them however they choose to, with the hopes or with the option to be in a relationship with someone? We all are at different ages at this point, and at some point, like, we could be playful and talk about all that stuff, but to be honest with you, we all want companions. So what are we doing? How are we trying to get there? Or are we just figuring out, like, it is what it is, so I'm gonna just deal with it, as it is?
Short answer,
Heather,
yes.
Heather, I
Got
think
you.
everybody taking it one day at a time, because sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't.
I feel you. I feel that.
So, and in our prime time, I'm not going to say our older years, in our prime time, because I feel like I'm in my prime right now. So, I'm ready. I'm at that 60, y'all. I'm at that 60. So, I say it gets better and better, sweeter and sweeter every year. Right, Leanne?
Yes,
Leanne.
yes, yes.
But do y'all ever feel as though, like, while you can be, be lusting and having fun, right? While that kind of, like, helps you deal with the time frame of either finding a partner or not, do you ever get to a point where you're like, I don't feel like dealing with people? Like, I'm just used to doing my own thing and hanging out and chilling and meeting people, but then there'd be that one person, and you just be like, get it together already. But then they don't. So you just be like, all right, I'm just chilling. I'm just doing me. And then when they finally want to turn around and do stuff, you just be like, you took all this damn time. What was you doing?
People don't
You have to take it.
People move at their speed, and then you have to deal with it if you want to. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's basically what I was gonna say. You can't put everybody in a bottle. You can't put everybody in a box. Everybody is an individual. You got to take it as it comes. There are going to be some people who are going to step to you right. They're going to come at you and say, hey, Heather, this is what I want. This is what I need. And if it goes correct. You and I might have a future. And then you're going to have, the idiot. I just want to play games. I just want to play around. It's up to you to set your standards, set your goals, and to set your time frame. And if they accept all of that and meet you where you are, great. If they don't, no matter what your age is, don't waste a lot of time.
But you
Now,
can
I've
waste time
seen some people be
if
in
it doesn't matter,
relationships.
though.
I would have to add to that though. Not only do you have to set your own your standards, you have to also be adaptable with whoever you choose to deal with. You can't just have it set your mind set on what it has to be. Yeah, you have to have your mindset on what you want and what you desire. But if you really want that person, you have to be flexible. That's something that we have to always do if we ever want to deal with anyone. You have to be adaptable and go forward with, well, am I willing to deal with this or not? That's your decision. That's your decision, no one else's. So,
but Brother Anson, that's where lust to love comes in. That's why lust can turn into love for the same exact reasons you just said.
Well, since you said that, have y'all ever heard of the phrase "turn a mountain out of a molehill"? Have y'all ever?
You hear molehill?
Are y'all familiar with that phrase?
You can tear the mountain down. You can bring the mountain down. Okay, but 90% of the time, it's the molehill.
With this whole love and lust ordeal, from what I've been hearing all night, is a molehill turned into a mountain. Yes, it's a thing. It's a difference. We all know this. I'm a firm believer in what's understood don't have to be said. But a lot of people take things differently. So yes, learn that there's a difference between love and lust. But like I said earlier, you can learn to love lust. So just as long as you recognize what the situation is, you're all right. As long as you choose to deal with it how you want to deal with it.
Okay, so men, I have a question. Okay, being that men, from what I hear, because I work with a lot of men, from what I hear, I'm coming for you, DB. So men need to de-stress. They need to get away and remove themselves from that, let's say, environment or situation. So they go out and start lusting after someone. Okay. So now, every time you de-stress, is it really lust, or is it just, listen, I just need to just feel something right now just to get my mind off my situation? Or is it that you don't feel anything? Because I've had guys tell me that they sleep with women just to sleep with them because they just need to get a nut, you know. So I'm going to start with Papa Doc and then on to DB, and then I want to end with Anson. Do you go out and lust just to relieve yourself? Or do you just say, you know what, I just got to get it and just get my mind off whatever, and there's no lust or love there? Papa Doc?
Yeah, I'm here. So let me answer that, but let me first put this in here. So did anybody pay attention to what this preacher said from the beginning, as far as men? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Hell
no.
Right.
Sound
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for answering. Look, but thank you for answering that correctly, because that's exactly right. You're not listening to that part, because that part isn't what's important to you. He told you what's important to a man, where his mind is. I'm going to lust you. You can get me to love you, but it's a certain way you have to go about doing it. In this day and time, as a man reaches a certain age, not all of us, some of us, we reach a point in our life where I've reached a point in my life where I don't need a woman, but Maybe I want one for certain things. But if I happen to get one and I fall in love with her, I'm going to cherish her from the top to the bottom. But what's important to me is she sexual with me? Okay, because that's what's going to get me. All right, because that's where I want to be. I'm still loving you, but if you're not sexing me right, that's going to create cheating. Okay, just going to send you out to go look for it. And if you're a successful man, you're a man with a pocket full of money, you ain't got to fall in love. I got rent money for one night. You're going to always have.
Not the rent money.
God,
okay.
Only for one night. Only for one night, Papa Doc. Only for one
You
night.
gotta pay my rent for the month.
But wait a minute. Listen to
that. One night for one person.
But listen to what I'm saying. I say the rent money for one night, but it don't mean I won't be a repetitive customer because I'm getting what I want. Okay, I'm getting what I want, and as a man, you got a kitty for the kitty. Okay, especially if you paying the rent, the mortgage, the car payments, and all of that stuff, and you getting rationed out or you're not getting taken care on that end. All right, bump that. That's money. All right, that's house money. Okay, here's my pocket money, and I'm going to go give it to a woman that's going to give me what I want for as long as I want or as much as I can afford. This is the blinders that you women are wearing because you think that whole sexual thing is or could be above you or you can't stoop to that level, but that's what the man want, period. All right, listen, I'm going to go out and buy you this ring. I'm going to marry you. Then I'm going to lose all my shit in the divorce. All because of what?
Greed. She cheated. Because she
Why?
And she found out.
Why?
And she say, I'm going to get this Negro to the core. I'm going to leave him with just his fruit of the loom.
Guess what?
Well,
this is what I'm saying.
What if the woman cheated? Because you have a lot of women out here.
Yes.
That, I mean, you have good men, and it's just not enough. They're no matter how good that man is, it's not enough, and they want to cheat. I don't know if the nookie ain't right or what, or if it can't get up and play. I don't know. But
so let me throw this word in there. Let me throw this word because everybody said love and lust. Here's what people miss. It's called satisfied. Can you satisfy your partner? Can your partner satisfy you? Forget the love and the lust because that's a bunch of BS. You want to be satisfied.
No, Papa Doc. What if my partner can't satisfy me or I cannot satisfy my partner? What happens next though? How do I get to the point of satisfying my partner? Like, what do I need to do as a woman to satisfy my partner so he can lust and love me again?
That's called opening your mouth and asking questions.
Right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why I say satisfied. It has nothing to do with love, lust, love, or sex.
Some men say
open your mouth and drink that man milk.
I've heard men say they're supposed to know how to please their man. How are you supposed to do that? Everybody has different likes, different dislikes. When you ask a question, nobody can come into any situation knowing how to flip you over and do all of that stuff.
But it goes back to what we said last week. Open your mouth and ask questions.
How about you guys? How about men and women respond when the questions are asked? So that we can both satisfy each other. Not all the time.
9 times out of 10, the man will. It is the woman 9 times out of 10 that does not give clear-cut answers. As I have said, Anson, Dr. Fabulous, everybody on here can tell you, I've said this on multiple occasions. Men are simple creatures. Give us something to eat. Give us something to drink. Give me some naked. We are simple. We will tell you what it takes to keep us happy. You just have to be willing to do
that, but that's not true, DB. You keep saying you guys are simple, but you're more complicated than women.
Since when?
Who told you have to make you feel
what
special?
Lies have you been fed all your life that we are more complicated than women?
You are.
No way.
Women these days, they're more complicated because they say, oh, we're simple creatures. All you have to do is feed us in every way. but you're not. Then you want more of something, and then you get exposed to new things, and you expect us to do that what you have been exposed to, and some women
Here's the
just
other half to that. And again, this has already been said multiple times. What you did to get us, you got to do to keep us, and a little bit more. Just like what we did to get you, we got to keep doing it to keep you, and do a little bit more.
Finish how
Because there
you
are
start.
times that women say, "What now, Anson?"
Finish how you start.
Exactly. You know, there are multiple stories out there where you start off all hot and heavy, and then, oh, well, I got you now, so I can go eat these bonbons. I can go pack on 50, 60 pounds. I can stop wearing the lingerie. I can take off the heels. I ain't got to do my hair. I can look like hell in high water, and the man still has to like me. No, we don't. That's not how this shit started.
why are you talking about
Now,
me? No, I'm just joking.
And men always
And
start out
then,
that way.
and
Who
then they
said
go, then they
that?
got, they get
Who
mad. They
said,
get mad
who
and have the
said,
nerve
why
to
are you
talk
talking
about.
about me?
Hey,
Who
take
said, why you
this.
talking about
Hey,
me?
That was
take
Lady
that
T.
sweatsuit off too.
That was Lady T. That was Lady T. Lady T.
Hey,
I
Y'all
gotta
know
learn
it's
to be
me.
quiet. I gotta learn to be quiet. I
Lady
cause
T,
too
that
much
was
You
you.
a
BB,
whole
here.
double standard because y'all don't be keeping up neither. So
there
whatever.
you
That's
go,
right.
Heather.
Hold
Y'all
Because
on, hold on,
still
listen,
put
hold on.
sometimes they
But
stomach
but
hanging
by the
so heavy
same
That's
over
when
here
token,
they
women
can't
defense
find it.
mechanism. Blame someone
Mm.
else.
Yeah, that's
by
true.
the same token, I agree with you, Heather. There are cases that some men don't keep up, but when we do try
Some
and we
cases.
keep doing our things, it is still a problem on the other end. And that goes both ways. I never said it doesn't go both ways, but you
Okay.
specifically asked what it takes for the man. That's why I answered the question the way I answered it.
And then men are afraid to bring it up because they're gonna be called fat shaming, or you don't love me.
But you know what,
man.
Dr. Feelgood, you just said it don't matter as long as they drink man milk. So hush your mouth. You got your hands up.
and wait. Let me really shake it up. And now y'all been exposed to anal, and y'all expect women to jump in on that. Sure enough, you got some that really like it, but then you got some that don't. Now, when they don't do it, now what do? You go out there and cheat and lust after some other, you know what? Or do you just say, okay, baby, I respect you?
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
I
Sometimes
know,
you
because y'all want
No.
that feeling. Y'all want that feeling. I done had a lot of my friends tell me that their men, this is a thing now, and I don't think that's fair. I think you didn't do it in the beginning. Why should you do it now? If you want to try it, fine, try it. But if you don't like it, I think the man's supposed to respect it. But guess what? When the men don't respect it, now y'all want to go out and find someone to get it. And I guess that's why we got the down low brothers. But anyway,
Ooh, I think that was a
right.
shot. That was a
That's
shot,
it.
Lady T.
It was.
That was a stone shot. But you know
That's
what?
not always
You
the
heard
case.
Papa Doc, Lady T, you heard Papa Doc say he'll
What?
just go find one to pay rent for a night or
That's
whatever he
right.
said.
Yeah, one night. And I said, that's
One
all
night.
one night. Come on. If
One
only
night,
for
Y'all
one
want
night.
y'all rent
Or
paid for
either,
30 days.
but you know
so
what?
let's
He
talk about-
might find one that's on Section 8 and he could pay for 3 months. Anywho,
Listen, what do I
Andrew,
care? What do
Andrew,
I
He gonna
care
make
about
him
getting
happy, though.
satisfied?
Exactly.
Listen,
He
what
said
do
he
I
don't care.
what
He want that
what
rent
do
paid.
I
he
care?
don't care.
What
He
do
said,
I
"Get your
care
food
if I'm
stamp."
getting satisfied? Okay, listen,
Just
it
be
didn't cost me.
satisfied, Papa Doc.
It didn't.
Roll
It
them
didn't
up
cost me
in
a
there.
house, a home, a car, a diamond ring. It didn't cost me payments. It cost me throwaway money. Okay, if you
All
are
right,
a
that's right, because
successful
you
man,
know, if you got that wife at home, you better keep that wad to make sure that house is taken care of. But
But if
Papa
at
Doc,
home
let
right?
me
ain't
catch you
doing
on the
what you
low
need,
But
low.
if
what's the difference?
You
tell
jumping
tell
on
her
over
tell
to
her again.
Andrew.
BB, when
Hey,
you
cousin
say doing
Anson. Hey,
wait, Papa Doc. When you
yeah.
say doing what you need, so you didn't comment on what I said.
I didn't hear what
Yeah, I
you said. I
forgot your
Because
question.
apologize.
I
this is the
apologize.
fad now. This is the fad now. For whatever reason, you say we as women need to keep the man satisfied. Am I
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yeah, both ways.
Now,
Both ways.
both ways. So now moving forward, you need to know that we came into the relationship one way, and then some, for whatever reason, whether you're watching a video or you had the action, you want us to do it, from behind. And I don't mean missionary. So I feel we can try it one time, but then after that, you keep coming at me for that position. I don't think that's fair. But then when I don't give it to you, you want to go out and lust after someone else. That's my point.
Nah,
Okay, but
listen,
if
not necessarily. Listen, sometimes you get hooked on a fetish, okay? And you're not going to get that fetish from every woman that you're with. Okay, but if you got a significant other, you got a wife, you got a main lady that you've been dealing with, and you ask her and she tried and she don't like it, sometimes you just got to be satisfied with the word, no, it's not going to happen, and keep it moving. Like, that one thing isn't going to kill my relationship with you and make me go and cheat. It's going to be more stuff that's going on in the home between me and you that push me out the door, that make me don't want to come home on time, or I know she sleep right about now, so now I could go home kind of stuff. But it all relates to the woman, and that's what a woman can make a man a good man, but she also can ruin a man and make him a bad man. Period.
Vice versa.
Correct.
Yeah.
that is true, and to add on to what Papa Doc is saying, yes, if that comes into play and you decide, I really didn't like it, it really wasn't for me, okay, we can go on and do other things and try other things. Let's add some other stuff to the repertoire. But
Right.
don't come at us and say, well, it's just 1, 2, 3 only for the rest of our lives. Then again, where does that have the spark? Where does that have the excitement? Where does that have the adventure? And that's what everybody on here said helps keep the relationship going. So yeah, that one thing may not be available, but there are several other things to do.
But my question is, you guys said satisfied. So if you're in a relationship or you're lusting after someone and that one thing is a factor, how can you satisfy them?
If you can't come up with something other than that to satisfy the person you're with, you truly need to go get the Kama Sutra. You need to go break out a couple of videos. You need to go down the street to your local strip club and start asking some damn questions, because if that's all you got going for you,
Because you need to learn. You need to learn,
Thank you.
sister. You got to
There's some things out there
learn.
that you can learn. There are books, there are videos, there are online courses. Hell, you can take your man if you really want to spice this up.
Learn what? Learn.
You could.
What am
That's
I
what I was about to
learning?
say. If that's what I was about to say,
Learn
if you
your
really
man,
want
that's
to
what you
learn
need to
some
learn.
other things and you want to learn your man, there are getaways that you can take for couples where they will take you from A to Z and teach you everything in there, and that gives you lots of stuff to try. There are ways that you can learn to satisfy the other person. You just have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to understand that, hey, I know that I'm lacking in certain areas, and I know that my other significant partner needs this. So either A, I'm going to step up to the plate and do what's being asked for, or B, I'm going to come up with an alternative so that that is not a problem anymore. It ain't hard.
Okay, so
And
I
everybody's
bring that
individuals.
back. This is the fad now. Okay, distinguished brother, I see you.
I mean, we can talk about it all night.
20 hours.
Yeah, we can talk about it all night. I'm right here for it, but that's
Go
just the
ahead,
bottom line.
Honestly, I like 50 Shades of Grey. Put me in the room with some toys.
This was very interesting. Go ahead, Red Room.
Wait a minute. This is the same woman that just said something about rectal, and now you talking about BDSM. You done went a whole different route.
She might be a little bipolar. She might be just a little bipolar. That's all. You switch out and
Plus, you
switch
just
up.
answered your own question. If you can't do the one, now you talking about going into a room where you got a whole slew of options. Now,
I
don't
said
understand.
that was the fad now. That's what I said. I have a lot of colleagues that talk about that. So I brought
That
that up as a question to men.
okay. And
And,
us men say be
But I
that or
said
find
Lady
something
T
else.
like 50 Shades of Grey. That's what I said.
and,
Okay.
and plus, as you get older in your relationship, it should be maturing so that your mind mature to another level where this might not work, but we can work on something else. You know, it's a whole maturity thing. It's not like if you can't do this for me, I got to go and get it from somewhere else, because that don't kill the whole sexual being with you. Okay, one thing does not kill a whole sexual relationship. You
Oh, that
know,
is so nice, Papa Dog.
But to
Okay.
some men or some women, it does, because that's like a deal breaker
Well,
to
they
them.
ain't really care for
Then
them.
that ain't for you.
yeah,
That's what you
right.
got to realize. Like we
And then
just said, you got to know what's for you
that's called immaturity right there. So you wasn't y'all wasn't meant to be together like that anyway.
and get the
Mm-hmm.
hell on.
You better preach, Papa Doc. You on fire tonight. Go
Papa
ahead,
Doc.
Andrine. I'm sorry.
I definitely agree with some of Papa Doc's statement, and some of the statements the men making, I just think are contradictory. People are dynamic. I don't think anybody in a relationship is necessarily easy. I don't think men are necessarily easy. I disagree with DB because at the end of the day, that's why we're all struggling with this whole, just even the discussion shows you the
Hello.
nature of this whole conversation. So at the end of the day, I think men make it sound simple, but it's really not that simple, because if it was, you guys would not be the ones, because it can't be everybody's gaining 50 pounds. Or it goes back to the communication piece. That's really what it goes back to. And unfortunately, men are not as good at it or better at it than women. I feel like we all struggle in that aspect. And I feel like it's with age and maturity where we get to the point where we can say what we want and mean it. And I feel like that's why you get into those lustful situations anyway, because you don't know yourself. Like I know I'm one of those people, like I'm a catch feelings type of person. So therefore, I don't necessarily get involved in lust situation. Like some other sisters are easily able to jump in and out of situations. Like I already know that's not me. So
you won't test the waters quite often.
no, I'm not. I'm
You
not
say,
gonna.
I got to stay
Not a
with
water tester
waters of
because
blue.
right, because then I know my feelings are gonna be hurt, even though I may not show it. So
I'm testing the waters. I'm
well,
testing the
see, and I'm
waters.
glad
I
that there,
got to test the waters.
that's how you know we're
Yeah,
dynamic.
there's a tester.
Men are the same. I refuse to believe that you sit up there talking about all men are easy. If that's the case, there would be more relationships working. Things are falling apart
Hello. You
all
better
the time.
preach.
And people are busy faking the funk, like Will and
Yes.
Jada, because they're worried about other people's perception of their relationship.
Yes.
So
They
we all
separated for
so
7 years
issues
and they still
today.
doing PDAs, right?
Yeah,
They
Will's a
separated
punk.
7
We all
years and
know
none
still
that.
of our
doing
business
PDAs.
anyway. But why did they feel the need to do that? And they're wealthy. They don't even need us. But they're worried about the world and our perception. So I think men try to make it seem like it easy, but it really is not, because that's why a lot of you all are still single, still struggling in your relationships. The bottom line is relationships are work. No matter how you put it, you just have to determine
how much work.
It's work, right? How much are you willing to put in the work? Because I can definitely say at a younger age, I really wasn't. I didn't know it, but at that time, I just wasn't. I wasn't there yet. So I feel like it's when you get to a certain point, are you willing to put in the work? And then are you willing to grow and learn and change with each other? Because that's why I think they fail. I don't think they necessarily fail because the woman puts on 50 pounds. It's because we're not communicating about, I'm really not feeling, I'm feeling a certain type of way about your weight or how you've changed. And we blame it on those things.
That's so true.
Andrine, it ain't even about them 50 pounds, because you got some 50 pounders that can put it on that'll make them scream and make them call your name.
Right, honey.
I ain't even gonna say that.
And make them
got a question. I got a question.
As I say, let me blow my fingernails.
I got a question to why men ain't that easy. Here's one scenario. Going back to what the preacher said, how he came out with it. Okay, first day, your worldly possession, your worldly prize, your pearl. Okay, that man know after he got your phone number, he wanted to meet you. You know he was ready for you the first night. You giving it up to him on the first night? No, maybe, but probably men are just that easy because he wouldn't say no.
We
But
missed
then
the
women are
whole
just that
paragraph because
because
you went out.
yes, they're purposefully saying no because they're buying into that whole. I feel like that's a whole expectation, or well, I can't do this now if I may want more. So I think everybody's coming with men want what they want, but does that mean
Correct.
that's to keep them or make them want to stay around? Not necessarily.
Because
So
a man gonna go where he want to go and do what he want to do.
That's
And
It's
so
right.
will a
it's
So
woman. A
don't
woman
lower
gonna
your
go where she want to
standards.
go and do what she want to do. I get tired of the one-sided argument
well,
that
I
all
agree. And that's
constantly
what I'm
everybody
get.
gonna
needs.
say. Both of us are gonna do that.
I agree. Exactly.
I feel like it is
Whether
definitely.
you're a man or a woman.
But the fact remains is that
Like
when
I
you
feel like
are
I
together,
have a lot of energy where I'm definitely the most direct and I'm gonna let you know what I feel and think type of woman, which I don't necessarily know if all men are ready for that or can handle
no,
it.
they're not.
Exactly.
They're not.
So it
I
is
have
what
a husband and he ain't ready for my bluntness, and he's blunt himself. But the
yeah.
fact of the
And I think
matter
a lot of
is,
men are willing to be blunt, but they're not necessarily willing to accept it from women.
right,
'Cause as much as they want to act like it's equal opportunity, it's not.
right,
It wants you to basically shrink yourself or speak a certain way
right,
when
lower your
they
standards.
Well, go on and preach, Andreen.
but they
You
want
That's
preach,
to.
girl.
right. But the fact of the matter is, when when men have someone, they can cheat, but they don't want the woman giving their cookies to anyone else. It's like they feel like I don't know, low. I don't know. But the point is, if you don't want a woman treating you like a piece of cookie, then don't treat her like one.
I think
Amen.
that's where the lust come in. I feel like at some level there's healthy lust. I'm hoping there is some lust for the partner you have.
That's
Exactly.
right.
There's
That's the
some
same
lust
thing
for
I
some
said at the
I'll
very
flip the
exercise.
beginning.
script.
So I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like I don't think there's anything wrong with love and lust, and I feel like it can coexist. But the communication has to be there, and everybody has to know where we are. Because at some point, I'm going to love you and want to spend time with you, and other times I'm just going to lust for you and want to do what I do. So I feel like it's a balance. And no, men are not easy, and neither are women. So I don't want you men on here thinking, oh, it's easy, and then because if it was that easy, all of you would be happy and have found the person. Because at the end of the day, I feel like for the most part, I think women are easier to manipulate, to be honest, than men.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like men
I don't agree with that at
manipulate.
I
all.
agree. Go ahead, Anson, and then we're gonna wrap it up because we're 8 minutes over, guys.
I got to hear something from the Jamaican man. I got to hear
Okay.
what he got to say.
Wait, Anson had his hand. So then him and the Jamaican man, whoever that is.
Action Jackson.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Anson.
All right, so I agree with most of everything that Andreen said, except for one thing. Distinguished brother is right that men are simple. Yes, we are. We are very simple, but you all can't see that, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because all a man wants, I don't care who they are, all a man wants out of the woman that they're committing to is for them to want to please them. Key is a woman has to want to please their man.
Like we said, men are dynamic. So you and maybe DB at this point in your life might be simple. But the majority of men,
I was saying before I got cut off,
sorry,
is that
happens all the time.
Every man wants whatever woman they commit themselves to want to please them. So take myself, for example. I said this a long time ago, long before I ever left college. Look, all I want is, I don't want a woman to do something for me because they feel I want them to do it. No, I only want you to do things for me that you want to do for me. So if you want to please me, that's enough. So your desire to please me is all I ask for. It doesn't mean you have to take it up the butt like DT said. You know what I'm saying? It's not a one-time thing. It's not a one thing
that in general does not sound easy to me. But I'm listening with that third ear and could add to that, but we don't necessarily have time right now. But that statement alone is so, there's so many layers to what you just said, wanting a woman that wants to please you, that there's so many ways to break that down that are far from easy. So understand
for example, I'm gonna give you an example.
I hear your examples.
But I'm gonna give you a very simple example. Okay, I'm with you. You don't mind giving head. You know I love head. So what's wrong?
He had to go the head route. Okay.
I mean, it's something that everybody loves
men
head.
and women love it, so it don't matter.
Right, everybody love head. So why do I have to go and ask for head if you already know I like head? If you feel like doing it, do it. That shows me that you want to please me. Simple as that.
Okay, so I think next week we need to have a topic of how to please a man, and then let Anson lead it. Huh? Come on.
It could be please your partner, not just a man.
I think
the woman should be pleased
that
as well.
Did you communicate to your partner that's what you like? And then you can see then if it's going to spontaneously happen. I think.
But wait.
A lot
If
of
she sees my toes curled and she see me fidgeting while she's doing it, that is enough.
Hey, that guap 2500 with a twist might happen.
Yes, sir.
That dog gonna feel good.
Yes, sir. Say it again.
Rolling in the back of her head.
That's called nonverbal communication. That's that nonverbal communication right there.
If he's going,
read the room. All you gotta do is read the room.
Say it again.
Joking is sexy.
Coming up.
Yeah.
You know what? I ain't even gonna say a word. I'm gonna let y'all have this one tonight.
I'm gonna let y'all have it too. Guys, it was a great show. Thank you all for coming on. And I think we got a good topic for next week.
Okay, but I got to hear. Now, see, I need to hear from the Jamaican man because and I'm gonna always refer, now I got something to refer back to Dr. Feelgood, the swallow the man milk. Now, I was told, and he said, and this came from the Jamaican's man mouth, that it's not always a specialty for them. So it's all on you, Mr. Action Jackson. I just need you to give me about 3 minutes and sum it up real
we
good.
want to be pleased, right? We want to be pleased, but a part of our culture, we don't like to do it. We like to reciprocate it. We like to receive it. That's the.
Oh, now you know we cutting him off.
You don't
it's
like
a
to
one-way street. It's a 50 and I owe you
gotta play with that kitty
boy,
cat because you ain't getting a man.
Because God blessed us with a tool to do the work. You know what I'm saying? But time has changed.
But did you hear that, Lady T? He said
that Jackson, why you just put your foot all up in your mouth?
No, to ask the question. No.
You know what paneling we have on this show.
I can't even believe he came out his mouth like that, DB.
Listen, you gotta speak the truth, Doc.
Okay,
yes, you do.
One more time for my.
That's a lie, because y'all
very simple. Like answer, we like to be pleased. We like to be catered to. You know, we're a very simple creature. If you do, we do our job. We go above and beyond. Take care of the bills. Do what we gotta do. You know, please you as well. You know,
so
but
you saying if you pay that one night rent, you expect that. Boy, bye.
Yeah, you could at one night
counts.
rent possibly
Effort
able to
is
go
the
from
key
top to
there.
bottom, side to
No,
side,
but
back
if
and
you want to
forth,
make a
and
man happy,
over
we're
again.
very simple. If you say, "Ooh, you know, like."
But no. You said that you enjoy that pleasure.
Correct.
But on the other hand, you say you love the receiving of, but you're not going to. Am I reading that right?
Maybe
God,
he's
For the
just
most
not
part,
deep sea
yes. If you're
fishing.
talking the
tell
Jamaican
me if
culture,
I'm
yes, you
reading
are
that
reading that
right.
right.
Yeah, right.
You
That's
are.
the
For
that's
the
that
Jamaican
culture.
culture, that is
Yeah, that's
correct.
the Jamaican culture.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Well, you better keep you a Jamaican woman, baby. You better keep you one.
That is, he doesn't have
That
to.
old American girl from the 305 say that
That's
ain't
right.
Jamaican
All the
fine.
way
Now,
down.
time has changed. They can't say that. You can't say that.
Somebody
Who
hit the
can't
button,
say
please.
it?
Somebody cut this thing, please. Hit the
You
button.
gotta cut it because you ain't ready for the
He ain't ready.
This
Lady
is a
T,
whole
he
nother
ain't
discussion.
ready.
This is
Just
a
a
whole nother
whole
good
evening
nother.
that we
night,
need.
family, because
He
it
ain't
is
ready
over
for it.
and done. 'Cause you ain't ready
So
for
I'm
that
look,
day.
But
with the little voice that
maybe
I
in the future
have.
it'll morph to like just like lust can morph into love. Maybe in the future can morph into that. You never know. Time will tell.
Well, you know what? I
Time
can
gonna
take it to
tell your game ain't tight, boo. Because when you want something done to you, she want it too.
Pound town,
Lady T,
pound.
you've been talking to Dr.
Ain't a
Feelgood
thing
because you rhyming,
her
girl. You
sinkhole is
got it.
round.
Now, listen, I have very little voice, but I got to say this was a great show tonight.
It was.
I have laughed, and I knew I just needed to hear from Action Jackson to finish off my night, and he did, y'all. He really did. But I want to thank each and every one of you for coming on tonight. And next week, honey, come on back because it's going to be sizzling. You're going to think we frying bacon up here in the house because it's going to be hot. And you know what? Jackson. That's all I can say. I can't wait to see you on the cruise, Jackson.
Can't wait to see you too.
With that being said, I want to say to my co-host, Dr. Feelgood, I ain't never gonna forget what you said tonight. Lady T, we still gonna understand the things about being married and yet single, however you put it. And to all the people that always make it hot, like Anson, Heather, Leanne, all of you all are a plus. And tonight was the night. So, Dr. Feelgood, do you have anything to say? I don't know what happened to Special K. I think the weather might be bad and she fell off or whatever. But to Special K in her absence, all her guests, thank you so much for coming on. And Dr. Feelgood, go ahead and say something. You on mute?
You're muted, bro. You're muted.
Lord, I need you to pay attention, Dr. Feelgood. That's the problem right there.
He over there trying to get some man milk.
Hey, Hurst, I got a delivery of man milk for you, baby. Hey,
what you give it 2 ounces?
You swallow if you swallow, I follow. If you gulping, I'm there. So,
and I'm coming straight home from work. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You get all my check. A woman who swallows is worth her weight in gold. Come get this money. But anyway, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming up.
You eat
supporting us. I eat pineapple, cones. As long as you give me the guac 78 special, and don't forget the nutsicles. I was good. You will get my check. Keep in mind we have. Keep in mind we also have we also got we're on Facebook, we're on IG, we're on YouTube, we're on we're on whatever else platforms. The last show last week is up and ready for you to go watch it when you're going to watch it. I'd say come back, and thanks to my confidant, my right hand, Mr. Phil. Said he pretty qualified. And I want to thank Miss Nikki, who's always on there, and she keeps it sticky. Miss Andrine, she keeps it lean and keeps it mean. And Miss Marlena, I want to be seen with ya.
Oh,
But y'all y'all all have a great day and enjoy this and come on back next week. We'll be keeping it hot, keeping it fresh. Back to you, Fab.
All right. The Zoom user, it came on. Did you want to say something? You seem this is the first time go around Zoom user. I don't know if she's muted. But nevertheless, everybody, thank you so much for coming. This was definitely a great show. And I'm going to say my closing remark, and you all know what it is. Guess what, y'all? Smooches and good night.
Good night.